WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
All right. Good morning, SVG. And we are back with you for another Activated Mornings program here on WEFM. And already on the line, we have Mr. PeeJohn, who will provide his commentary to us at this time. So, PeeJohn, good morning to you and Happy New Year.
Good morning, Roleza, and same to you. This morning, there's an interesting story I saw on an international news outlet, the Daily Mail. Perhaps you have seen it and you're probably familiar with what I'm going to talk about. Apparently, the Daily Mail, which is a United Kingdom-based newspaper, there's also an online version. That has, the last time I checked, have 22 million followers. They reported a story of a visitor from Canada who was horribly murdered. And they were apparently speaking about the homicide involving Glenroy Fraser that took place in St. Vincent recently.
Mm-hmm.
But they claim this event took place in Jamaica. They gave some details, and clearly the details that they gave were reflected what was reported locally here. But the big mistake is that they claim this thing happened to a Jamaican who went back home. So the story is about Jamaica.
Okay.
What I found interesting is that some commenters on the story itself corrected the version and said, well, no, this didn't take place in Jamaica, it took place in St. Vincent. And out of that now, we had two sets of commenters who claiming that they shouldn't correct the story, and those who are saying yes, they should correct the story. So it's as if
those who asking for it to be corrected, are they intentions? Or asking for it not to be corrected?
Yes, based on the comments that I've seen. So there's this debate going on where they should have a correction or not. And some people are claiming that some of us are proud to make the international news. Others are saying, well, no, leave it like that. Once it doesn't shoot it in a bad light. So I just found the whole thing interesting. I don't know if other persons would have seen it, but it's one of the lessons that St. Vincent is still not that well known, and perhaps they didn't think such a small island could have this kind of thing happening. I don't know, but the patriotic Vincentians would not have it. Let them go with the story. Well, there are those who probably a little bit more simple-minded, looking for the fame or our reputation. Thinking about our reputation and our gains, publicizing such an event like that.
Right. Well, you're okay. Okay, finish and then I'll comment.
Go ahead.
Right. So you know that generally when it's like a positive thing, as Vince's, we would say we claiming it, right? But when it's something negative, we don't necessarily want to claim it. And I suppose in this case, given that most of the headlines are saying a Canadian as opposed to a Vincentian Canadian, we may not necessarily want to claim it in that case because you don't want that sort of attention being brought to your country, especially from a negative standpoint. Not albeit that the reality is a Vincentian Canadian has been killed or was killed here. But we don't necessarily want to claim the negative things. Even if a full-fledged Vinci has done something, we would disown them quickly when we hear them in international news. And I suppose
that's true. I agree with you with that. But St. Vincent and Jamaica, two different countries. Different countries.
I was going to
make such a mistake.
Right, and I was going to make this other point where, for many persons internationally, all they know for the Caribbean is Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, and maybe Barbados, right? And persons may think that, okay, so St. Vincent, especially if they didn't say St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they're going to say that St. Vincent is probably part of Jamaica, right? So in this case, I might fall into the category of not wanting the correction to the story. No, Jamaicans out there may not be happy to hear me say this, but I would have just left it.
So what about truth when it comes to journalism and that kind of thing?
But it is important. But I'm just mumbling at this time, all right? Just leave it. I just leave it at this time, yeah.
Well, it's quite interesting, and it goes to show that, something we think, once it is foreign and it's from the more developed countries, it has all the hallmarks of good journalism, etc.
Yeah. Well, which is true. I would agree. So if I'm actually being very serious, yes, I would prefer for it to be corrected because I always believe that the correct news should be out there for persons, right? But the silly me, in terms of not wanting this on my country, doesn't want for the correction to happen.
Well, it's just heartwarming to see the comments coming from the true Vinci. Who dissing the report, and dissing those who want the report to be corrected.
Yeah, I can understand. I can understand.
Okay, so all the best, and enjoy the rest of the day.
You as well, PeeJohn, and see you tomorrow for tomorrow's commentary. Thank you. All right. All right, so that was Mr. Philbert John, who prefers to be called a PeeJohn in common letters, with his commentary for today. All right, so officially, let me just say good morning again to everybody. We are back with you for another day, another Monday morning in a brand new year for today's Activated Mornings program. All right, so I trust that everybody had a great Christmas season. Yes, I was out for a little bit. The word vacation is very loosely used because it was not a vacation at all. It was just time away from the station. But nonetheless, I was very productive, right? If nothing else, maybe not rested, but I was very productive. So hoping that everybody is doing okay. As mentioned earlier, it is back to school time. So teachers and students are back out. Yes, the roads are going to be more congested. Yes, persons are going to have to leave home earlier to beat the traffic to get into town or to get parking, or, just to be able to try to arrive at work on time. If nothing else, at least on time. All right. So good morning to those of you who are in minivans at this time, in private transportation. Remember, as always, you need to take your time on the road. You can't be late twice, all right? So if you find that you're already late, don't make sense you're rushing and then you get into an accident and all of that, right? You can't be late twice. Late is late, right? Yes, I know the degree of lateness can, might be a little bit important, but late is late, okay? So yes, we are back with you, and as mentioned, this is the Activated Mornings program, and I'm your host, Roleza Samuel. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, and I just want to say good morning to the persons already there on the live. Good morning to Faye and to Arnold, who sent their hellos and their good mornings, and to the other persons who are already there, who I don't know who you are, but you're there, all right? So good morning to you guys. All right, so let's jump into this. Now, PeeJohn did make mention of St. Vincent and the Grenadines being raised in a particular light in the international sphere, all right, in terms of international media. But St. Vincent and the Grenadines has been making a name for itself with regards to celebrities who are visiting our island. And what it is that I love in particular is the fact that Many times that we hear of the celebrities because of the millionaires and the billionaires going to the Grenadines, right? For years and for decades, we've heard of them mainly going to the Grenadines. But we also see them that they're actually coming to St. Vincent, mainland. All right, Grenadines people don't like the use of the word mainland. So they're coming to St. Vincent as well. So reading from St. Vincent Times, they're saying that recently we had a celebrity such as Tay Diggs, Joe Manganiello, I think I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, Robert Downey Jr., and Anne Hathaway have visited St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So Tay Diggs was here on the 2nd of January, and Joe Manganiello, he was in Beckway, and he rated Beckway, and he rated his trip here to SVG. All right. So in the past, we had persons like Lionel Richie, Gabriel Union Wade, and Deville Ellis visiting SVG, but we now see that many of these persons are also visiting St. Vincent itself. And this seems as if it can be attributed to Sandals Resort in terms of these persons, or at least two in particular, having stayed at the Sandals Resort. So yes, PeeJohn, our name might be out there, for something negative in terms of that murder that occurred. But we're also seeing a positive in that we have celebrities who are visiting St. Vincent, or who may have heard of St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the very first time, and they have visited our island. So this can always be a plus, because it's like a tell a friend might tell a friend, and you just never know. All right. So I know there was a lot of discussion before in terms of Sandals Resort opening here, etc., and the benefits that opening such a resort can bring to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In terms of the economic spill-off effect, etc. That might be a different discussion in terms of, do we actually see a lot of economic benefits of Sandals being here in terms of that whole spill-off effect. But the name of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is out there. All right. And for persons who may not be aware, CNN Travel spotlights Beckway among premier destinations in 2025. All right. So I'm also reading this from St. Vincent Times. CNN's travel belief is that every place has a reason to make it worth visiting. And all right, let me take that over. So according to CNN Travel, Beckway is among the best places to visit in 2025. Okay, so that is also something else that has our name out there in a positive light. And of course, it's about all of us making our part to help to develop our tourism product in whatever ways in which we can. And also remember that it's not left up to just the government. It's not left up to the ministers. It's not just left up to persons working directly within tourism. We all do have our part to play in the advancement and even just getting the name of St. Vincent and the Grenadines out there. All right. So, yeah, we have our part to play, and our country is advancing. And let's keep on that trajectory, right? Forward ever. Forward ever. All right. So we are going to take a break at this time. All right. So good morning to Evan. So just want to say good morning to you as well. All right. So somebody is saying it's not our place to correct these people's ignorance. This just goes to show how journalists do not do their research. All right. So yeah, that's an interesting comment there. And of course, good morning to Joshua as well. All right. So we are going to take a break at this time. Hi, Alcatha, morning to you. We're going to take a break at this time. Remember, right about now, we are going to head into today's traffic talk. Yeah, today's traffic talk. All right. So we'll be back momentarily.